Well, happening right now, the Anchorage School Board addressing the $90 million budget deficit that they face, discussing adjustments, also solutions.
We've got our Joe Allgood at that meeting right now with a preview. Joe?
Well, one school board member told me they're not really sure what the outcome of tonight's meeting will be, but when the district announced it, it did mention school consolidation. Here's a look at the meeting getting underway right now, where it's not really as usual for the school board to call a special meeting like this one. It was only just announced last Friday, and the only topic to be discussed is the budget and the $90 million deficit that the district is facing as they look to find, quote, operational efficiencies to reduced cost. It's still too early to say if they'll decide to close or consolidate any Anchorage schools, but the school board hasn't ruled that out. And it's worth noting that last fall, the board voted to not close any schools after the school district recommended the closure of 2 elementary schools. The district has encouraged every member of the public to participate in public comment if they would like. We're going to stick around and see what happens tonight, and we'll update you with any updates on the late edition. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
All right, Joe, thank you. Well, following the death of a 45-year-old man in Lake Allegnagick in western Alaska over the weekend while riding a snow machine, ice safety once again in the spotlight. Alaska State Troopers remind everyone, pay attention to research and research conditions. Also, if you're unfamiliar with a particular spot, take a few moments to inspect the surroundings.
And as a reminder, if you're skating, there should be at least 4 inches of solid ice below your feet. If you're driving a vehicle on ice, there should be at least a foot of solid ice. And you should check in with the folks who maintain lakes and rivers that you are headed out on just to be safe. It's worth noting that conditions can change from day to day depending on temperatures.
Now, we've seen a little bit of everything this winter, but Alaska living up to its reputation this week. More extreme weather's coming in.
Melissa, what do we need to know as we prepare for this next storm?
Yeah, it's coming in fast. We're already seeing those winds ramping up out near Adak, and they're going to continue to increase across the Bering Sea with that snow arriving in south central tomorrow morning, first on the Kenai Peninsula. So looking at those next big impacts, western Alaska is the high wind and the heavy snow that you want to be prepared for Tuesday through Thursday. For south central, it's snow late Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and then we will see temperatures falling to as low as 50 below zero on the slope. Factor in wind chill, we're talking 70 below, and that is why we have this long list of weather alerts in place. You can see the center of the storm out there to the west of Adak, where we do have those hurricane force wind warnings currently in effect. Now for south central and southeast, it is wind and snow that are the biggest concerns. For Kenai along the Sterling Highway, we're looking about 4 to 8 inches with this storm turning in past 5 to 10 for southeast. Mostly a rain event for you, but seeing those wind gusts ramping up tomorrow of 35 to 50 miles per hour. And then we'll also see some blowing snow throughout the Copper River Basin all the way into the eastern Alaska range. We will also likely see 2 to 5 inches of snow initially in Anchorage into the valley, with a little bit more even as we head through the middle part of the week. So looking at the timing of this storm, again, right over the Pribilofs by early tomorrow morning, high wind there through St. Lawrence Island. And then we'll see that heavy snow from Bristol Bay all the way into the Yukon Delta, spreading across Norton Sound in the afternoon. And that's the same time that we start to see that snow arriving in south central. So do be prepared for those impacts tomorrow. Right now, kind of the calm before the storm for south central. Cold already settling in there in Fairbanks at 22 below, 39 in Juneau. And looking ahead to the next 24 hours for Anchorage, you can see those temperatures dipping to the mid-teens overnight. Tomorrow, I do expect that snow to start right about lunchtime in Anchorage and then continue through the evening commute into early Wednesday. And I'll have a closer look at all of those impacts and what you can expect here in a few minutes.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Check back in a little bit. In Capitol coverage, legislative leaders tell Alaska's news source the commander of the state's 11th Airborne will not testify this week about a stand-down order for more than 1,500 soldiers who had been on standby to deploy to Minneapolis.
Lawmakers now say they learned about this from national media reports. ABC News reported last week the Pentagon's Northern Command stood down those troops. The deployment would have followed the deaths of 2 U.S. citizens by Homeland Security officers in Minneapolis. The Joint Armed Services Committee invited Brigadier General John Cogbill to testify, but State Representative Jamie Allard sent a letter saying he was not required to attend. Today, committee leaders say he declined.
This is a fairly political situation, and he probably didn't want to make the comments. But also, he's in preparation of the JPMRC, which is the Joint Pacific Multi-Readiness Complex. It's an important exercise in the military.
So it would be highly unusual for to have active duty military leaders come and speak about something that may or may not happen. I mean, they would need to get approval from higher up, and with the current administration, that would have been very unlikely.
Now, we did reach out to several lawmakers across both parties, including Rep. Allard, about the stand down today. Many said they were unaware of the change or declined comment. Governor Mike Dunleavy's office also did not return a request for comment.
And pivoting now, with Valentine's Day this weekend, it doesn't have to mean an expensive dinner and a dozen roses.
Ooh, okay. Danny Tompkins spent a little time with local businesses that are thinking outside that chocolate box this year.
I love smelling a good candle. With Valentine's Day coming up, this year, Anchorage businesses are getting creative with offering activities that people can actually do together. Now, as you can see, these are Valentine's Day candles at Get Scent, where owner Chester has a full evening of activities planned. If you're tired of the same old Valentine's Day routine, try an experience this year.
It's not just a workshop, it's more in the experience.
I decided to join in on the fun. I'm adding coconut scent to my candle, and I'm going to do coconut and lavender. So I'm mixing those together. It's not just about candles. The fun has only begun.
Every time I do candle making classes, I want to do another activity. This time, I tried to combine two of my passion because I also love singing a cappella.
What more can you want than candles and live music? Some may say food.
I love bringing my Filipino heritage to my business. So I asked my parents and my aunties to make some food that day. So we're going to have some Filipino snacks and food and some beverages.
A creative night with something for everyone. And here is my finished candle. So whether you're more intrigued about the candle making, the live music, or the food, Chester says that the experience is more than just Valentine's Day. It's about making memories together. Memories that last longer than roses and outlive chocolates. That's a Valentine's Day worth celebrating. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
Yukon Quest Alaska is now underway, and our sports team is keeping track of it all every step of the way.
Love it. Charlie Fellows joining us now with the latest updates after that journey took off from Fairbanks this weekend.
Yes, we're now 3 days into this year's 750-mile Yukon Quest Alaska, an aptly named race since much of it follows the winding path of the frozen Yukon River through central Alaska. And as of today, the leaders of this year's race have finally made it there. As of 5 o'clock on Monday, it's still Josie Shelley out in front. You can see here she left the circle checkpoint on the banks of the Yukon a few hours ago. Jeff Dieter close behind. He left a few minutes ago, right as third place Jonah Bacon arrived there. And as those mushers make their way through the Alaska wilderness, a team of volunteers work to make the event possible. From putting on year-round events for the race to distributing flyers, nearly 1,000 people donate their time to the Alaska tradition, some just a couple hours, others throughout the year. For many, this is their first year. Others have been helping for more than 25 of them. And on Saturday, around 50 people helped start the race, getting dog teams ready to take off, telling people where not to park, and announcing the action.
All of Fairbanks is here cheering all of our mushers on. And it's really important to bring the community together. I think that's what the quest really is all about.
The mushers, their handlers, their families, our volunteers, they become family. It's a Yukon Quest family to me, because I've been around and I've met a lot, and a lot of our fans keep coming back too each year.
Volunteers also man the checkpoints along the route, preparing dog yards for the incoming teams and letting headquarters know when they arrive. And meanwhile, the health of the trail's elite canine athletes in the Yukon Quest rests in the hands of a dedicated 11-person veterinary team. Head veterinarian Mercedes Pinto says that while they're equipped for everything from broken legs to heart monitoring, their toughest battle often begins before a single dog reaches the vet station.
Honestly, our biggest challenges are logistical most of the time. Making sure that we have at least one veterinarian at every checkpoint before the first dog arrives, all the way through the last team leaving. So with 2 races going 2 different directions, a lot of it off-road system, that means a lot of planning and a lot of last-minute changes.
And once on site, the team conducts nose-to-tail exams during mandatory rests, checking hydration, heart, and lungs to ensure every dog remains at peak performance. With the race expanding to 750 miles this year, experts ensuring all dogs get proper care.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.